What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Mini TV Reviews. I am your host, Mo, and today, you guys, we're going to be discussing Grotesquerie. That's right, y'all. This is season 1, episode 5, titled Red Haze. I'm going to get caught up eventually, y'all. There was only one episode this week, so yay! I'm going to get caught up. All right, so the synopsis for this one is Andrea, the woman covered in blood, leads Detective Lois and Sister Megan to an ominous remote hotel. Megan witnesses a car crash in the parking lot. This episode was pure chaos. Chaotic, y'all. That's the only way to describe it. So, the episode begins where we left off with the last one, and that's Lois and Megan in the car, but with an additional passenger at this time. Her name is Andrea, and she claims to have been hit in an accident, but Lois is sensing that something else is going on with her, okay? She offers to take her to get some help, but she tells her to take her down the street to this motel where she knows the manager named Nick, because he's always taking care of her. Now, when they get there, she offers help again because she now sees bruises on Andrea. But of course, Andrea declines and says that they need to wait out the fire here because, this is probably your best option. And immediately, as soon as the car stops, y'all, she makes a run for the bathroom and she locks the door. Now, Megan tries to check on her and get in there, but she doesn't open up the door. They meet the hotel clerk who talks about how beautiful the place is during the different times of the year. And then when they were walking up, they noticed that the pool was purple. And so they ask her about it. And she says that it's due to the fires because the embers from the fire flames turn the pool this pretty color, but it's very acidic, right? Don't get in there. And she says that it's similar to a drink that she used to fix when she was a barback. So as Megan is leaving out, she makes mention of how to apply, as after Megan leaves out. Lois stays behind and she makes mention of how to apply makeup because she noticed that the hotel clerk had a black eye. And so she was like, next time, you may want to do this and do that. And she was like, what black eye? What are you talking about? I don't see a shiner on me. She denies being abused, right? So Megan ends up going to go kick down the bathroom door to where Andrea went in. And Megan was like, see, I told you we should have checked in on her. And Lois was like, girl, you acting like this is my fault. There are bloody towels everywhere in that bathroom. In the sink, on the floor. There's blood everywhere in that bathroom, y'all. So they try to find her throughout the property by following her bloody footprints. And y'all, they end up walking like into one room where there were 2 kids just sitting, watching TV. This can't be real, y'all. This cannot be real. So they walk past them and Lois was like, so y'all just gonna watch a bloody woman walk through here and not say nothing? Oh, okay. So they walk out and they end up actually going in their own room for a second. Now, immediately, Megan drops to her knees on the side of the bed to pray. Okay, because this is insane. She ain't seen nothing like this. And Lois, y'all, she started pulling out them straps. Okay. If I'm going down, somebody gonna have some hoes. Okay. So she turns on the TV, but it's the same stuff that they were listening to on the radio while they were on their way there. All the preachers speaking of the end of days, natural disasters at every turn. And so she ends up getting a call from Nurse Red, who is still pressuring her to sign over her rights because there's nothing that they can do for him. And I was like, okay, he's been intubated for damn near a month. Have we not heard of a trach? I mean, do we not want to have that conversation to where, okay, if we're not gonna trach him, what's the other option? So she's pressuring her to sign over her rights. And as she's on the phone with her, Megan is still trying to build a barrier from the fires because she was like, you know what, maybe that man that you saw at the gas station, maybe he was right. Maybe we should try to do something to keep it from coming over here because all it takes is one lone ember and a strong wind gust and boom, we up out of here too. So While she's trying to do that, she feels someone is outside looking at her, like in the desert, right? And so she feels this spooky feeling, and she was like, somebody is out here. Y'all, her thought is interrupted when she sees this car accident. She hears this big crash, and so she rushes over because obviously she hears a crying baby. So she goes over there, tried to check on the wife and the baby. And I think it might have been an older daughter as well. Now, the husband, he's Hispanic, and so, he's trying to explain what's going on. And then the other guy that was involved in the car accident was like, speak English, speak English. Just, I ain't got time for it. So she checks on the family, and they seem to be okay. But you know who ain't? The motel receptionist, because y'all, Nick has her by the pool and he's actively trying to drown her. He done beat her and now he's trying to drown her. And so she goes back in to tell Lois that they need to leave right now because this is crazy. But Lois is still trying to talk to Nurse Red, right? The phone ends up disconnecting some kind of way because I think her phone died. And Megan's phone is also dead. And so she goes to the front desk, but the line is cut on the landline. And so in a split second, as she's realizing that, y'all, she ended up looking at the snow globe, and the snow globe says something. I can't remember what it said, but it was something ominous for the snow globe because they make their own snow globes there. Y'all, bullets start coming in. They start coming in the direction of Lois. Somebody is trying to take her out. Okay, so she runs back to the room where her and Megan are now hiding in the bathroom, and Megan starts to pray. And so she was like, girl, can you please pray with me? And she was like, I don't believe in it, You don't believe in the high, but you was just trying to pray on the other episode, but you didn't know how to because you ain't did it in so long. And then you told her in the first episode that you don't believe in God, but you do pray. Anyway, so they are surrounded in chaos, y'all. So after a few seconds of silence, Megan hears Andrea and Nick arguing. And so she was like, oh my God, that's Andrea. Like, we need to go help her. And so she tries to go out there. But now this is where Lois steps in. And she's like, girl, no. Okay, we cannot. And so they're standing at the opening of the door. And Megan is like, come on, we got to go out there. And she says, no, because if we do, we're going to be exposed from every angle. And I just can't put you in any danger. You need to stay behind me and listen to what I say. And so, Andrea and Nick are arguing. Nick has his pistol trained on Andrea. This car comes out of nowhere, swerving, y'all, pulls up to the thing, and it was just like, what happened? Like, I had to rewind it to see because it happened so fast. As this truck pulls up, y'all, Lois get the bussing. She get the bussing in that direction because she don't know who this is. Now, the person end up getting out the car and they end up snatching Andrea up, right? Now, Nick is firing in that direction as well. So, gunfire is being exchanged by everybody. Andrea gets scooped up and get put in the car. Megan tries to run and go save her, y'all. And then in the process, she get hit. She get hit in the chest, y'all. So, of course, now at this point, everybody done, Nick and the other person that was behind him, the other girl, I think that was the hotel receptionist, done ran off. The person in the car done drove off, leaving Lois to try to comfort Sister Megan. We don't know if this is the end for her. Okay, she collapses on the ground and she's like, can you please pray with me? And she was like, girl, you just determined to get what you want, huh? And so she ends up reciting a prayer with her. A side note, before all of this happened, when they were in the bathroom together after the car accident happened, Megan had noted that she sensed a heavy presence around them. And Lois was like, girl, you just now feeling it? I've been feeling that all daggone day. Is it death? Is it doom looming? I don't know. Y'all, I think Lois might be dreaming or she might be in a coma. I don't know. So emergency services are able to get to her in time. While Lois is sitting with her in her room, Father Charlie shows up and basically tears into Lois for just using her as a shield while trying to pursue this case of grotesquerie. And so she was like, I know you're not talking, because while yes, I am a detective, yes, I am supposed to be investigating this case, don't get it twisted. Sister Megan done popped up at every location, okay? She was more curious about this than I was. Hell, she was even there before I even knew who she was. She was wanting to know more about this case than what I was initially willing to let her in on. So don't do that. While y'all sitting up here sharing campfire stories about your favorite serial killer over there, okay? You ain't got no room to talk, Father Charlie. So anyway, she also mentions that she knew about what they were doing, trying to get people engaged in the church to bring them back to church again. So they fear-mongering. And so he says that she knows nothing about Sister Megan. Hell, she don't even know that Sister Megan hate carnations. When he came in, y'all, he had a thing of flowers. And she had some carnations sitting by the side of her bed. And so he was like, oh, who gave her these damn things? And replaced them with the flowers that he bought her. So he wants Lois to leave. And he wants her to get to figuring out who in the hell did this to her. Now, in the hallway, she ends up talking to a boss about possible criminals that she's helped put behind bars that may be looking for some type of get back, some type of revenge, okay? And it's revealed that a woman named Glorious was recently released, unbeknownst to her. Now, although that tidbit of info fell through the cracks, the time of her release actually lines up with the time that the murders started. Oh, what y'all think? So back at home, she gets a call about the latest crime scene, which is a maternity home that is associated with the church. So this is where expecting moms go to decide whether or not they want to give their babies up for adoption or keep them. So when she gets there, y'all, it's awful. All of the crime scenes are awful, but this one, Y'all, Grotesquerie has come through and slaughtered multiple expecting mothers. He ended up using this C-section retractor to deliver the babies. And so instead of sewing them back up, he left the bellies wide open. And since, of course, they were left wide open, the mothers bled out and they died due to shock. So not only did he do that heinous crime, but he took it a step further and used the blood of the moms to pin a note to her on the wall. Now, I didn't look and see what it said per se, but I know that it was made out to Lois. So Jack tells her that there are calls coming in for them to step down and retire and let the FBI take over because they just don't have the resources to solve this. And again, Lois feels that this is personal because he waited until she left town to attack these innocent mothers. Where the babies at? And so she says that they'll keep working the case until they get fired. She then gets a call about some kids that were left at home while their mom went out with some random man. And so once she gets there, the police officer is talking to the young girl. And so she goes to go talk to him. And she's like, first off, why am I here? I got major crime scenes that I need to be working, trying to figure out who this monster is. Why am I here? Are you just calling me because a mom went out on a date and left her kids by themselves? And he was like, no. So then he mentioned that the mom was pregnant. And so this piques her interest because maybe this is all a part of Grotesquerie's plan, right? And so she tells the responding officer to see if he can get a description of the man from the daughter, because when she tried to talk to the daughter, she got a little bit of information out of her, but it really wasn't too much. As far as the description goes, she got real scared when she asked her to describe the man. And so she's like, nope, that's okay. I'm going to let the officer handle it because clearly he has some type of rapport with him. You know, he done warmed up to him. And so while that's happening, Lois ends up getting back in her car and she starts to drive down the road. Now, this is a dirt road and she ends up spotting this car. This car is blocking the street, y'all. So she gets out to look around. And when she looks inside the car, she sees blood all over the car. And then she turns, and I was like, she got to be dreaming. She turns and she looks down this orange orchard. It's an orange orchard field. And she sees this woman and she's rambling. She's rambling, but she's got something in her arm. And so, y'all, when she walks over to her, she looks and she sees on closer analysis that this is a baby in her arms. So she was like, can you give me the baby? Is the baby breathing? Thankfully, the baby is breathing. But as she takes the baby from this rambling woman, she keeps saying, he's coming. He's coming. And that's the way the episode ends, y'all. Is it death? Is it death that's coming? I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it. This show is crazy. You can reach me at Me and You TV Reviews on Facebook and on Instagram. You can also reach me at My TV Reviews Podcast without the S on the end at gmail.com. Y'all, I love y'all. Okay. I know that this was a short review, but y'all, it was only 30 minutes, I think. And I think the next one was only 30 minutes too. So that one is also going to be short. I probably should have just combined them. But y'all, I'm trying to do these reviews at home today, so y'all know how it go, okay? But I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And until we meet over the airwaves again, I am Mo, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Me TV Reviews. I am your host, Mo, and today, you guys, we're going to be discussing Grotesquerie, Season 1, Episode 6, titled Good Cesarean Work. I hope you guys have had a wonderful week thus far, y'all. We made it to Friday Eve, so one more day, y'all. And then we are back to the weekend to relax and rest up for the following, okay? I hope you guys have had a wonderful week thus far, so without further ado, let's go ahead, get into the synopsis, and then we're going to get right into the episode. So the synopsis for this one is: a heinous new discovery leads Detective Lois to someone from her past. All right, y'all. This episode was short just like the last one, so this may be 20 minutes or less, all right? So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So we begin the episode with Lois talking to the doctor for the mysterious woman who was found with the fresh baby in the orchard. To no one's surprise, he tells her that the blood types don't match, meaning she ain't had his baby. And based off of how she looked, y'all, I ain't trying to, show no type of ageism or nothing like that, but she looked a lot older than baby bearing years. So, yeah, that couldn't be her baby. And he also told her that she showed no significant levels of the pregnancy hormone in her system. So when Lois goes to talk to this lady, she keeps asking her when can she get her baby so they can go home. And Lois tries to ask her questions pertaining to how she found said baby and where the mama at. Okay? And if you are the mama like you claim you are, where did you give birth? And when did you give birth? Because that had fresh blood on it and you didn't look like you, yeah. So after Lois brings up the deaths at the maternity house, we find out this lady's name is Macy. Macy brings up that some cultures would sacrifice their babies to ward off the evil and darkness in the world. She also poses the question to Lois that this was all meant to happen. And while she's hinting that this was a purposeful setup, she says the word glorious 3 times and suggests that maybe all this is one big dream. Maybe I'm just a figment of your imagination. I don't know. But there's a lot of random people who seem to know more about Lois on first meetups than she does about them. So this definitely is a lot to consider. Maybe this is a part of Lois's imagination. Maybe this is her subconscious trying to talk to her. I don't know. Okay. And so she informs Macy that they're gonna hold her on a 5150 until they can get all this sorted out for the next 3 days. And then once Lois leaves, again, she talks to her boss. And we find out that Macy is 67 years old. Again. Now, when Macy was talking, she did bring out some biblical references with Sarah and how she had the baby. And then there was this woman in another part of the world that had a baby at like 66 years old or something like that. So not impossible, but very highly unlikely. And so she told her that she's 67, she's from Greece, and that there seems to be some tie between her and Glorious. So it's time to pay her a visit. So when she does, she enlists the help of that cop that was working the same case as the missing mom with the kids, you know. And whatever happened with that? I guess we'll find out, right? So we found out that Glorious used to be a pimp who participated in human trafficking amongst other crimes. Okay. And she was doing a lot. Now, when she roll up to Glorious spot, she live in like a trailer park situation. She got a sign on her thing where it's like Glorious Ministries or something like that, but she's still dressing like a pimp, y'all. And she talked like one too. Pimp named Slickback. So Glorious has been expecting her, and so they decide to take it inside the house to talk. And as they're doing so, the cop lets Lois know that he been peeping her scene, the surrounding perimeter, and he noticed that there's a guy and a woman there with guns. Okay. So she had told him before they even went in that Gloria seemed like she cool, calm, and collected. She start off that way, but then when she get hot, and stuff go left real fast. So she tells Lois that she got released early because she turned rat. Okay, she gave up some traffickers who were peddling babies overseas, and hell, Lois not caught Macy when she did. Who got caught up in the mix with that baby. Okay, so Lois wants to know why she's trying to kill her, but Glorious denies having such motives. Okay, I'm moved past that. That's behind me. Girl, I ain't got no gripes with you. I'm out here trying to live life. I'm trying to move forward. So after Lois asked to finish the line of questioning down at the station, she said that she done with that life, and the people that the cop been scoping the whole time, y'all, they rose up, okay? They started busting off shots, but he took them down real quick. And so I was like, dang, Lois, you need to keep him around. He good. Lois ends up finding a hidden strap on Glorious, and so they have to bring her in because of that. That's a new charge. Seems like you gonna be doing a little bit more time, girl. So as they're finna get ready to arrest her, she does confirm that Lois is being taunted by a false prophet who is knocking off the evil and the innocent alike to give the impression that the end of days is near, which will bring people, of course, back to the church who are in search of salvation by the droves. So maybe there is a little something to what Lois is saying. Maybe she is on the right track. So Lois is at home looking over the case when she gets a call from an unknown number. Now, this person don't say nothing, okay? And so she warns him because she knows that it's Grotesquerie, that she's getting closer. And she gonna find him. Come hell or high water. She ain't afraid to die. You are a sick monster and you will be brought to justice. So she ends up hanging up. And shortly thereafter, she's in the kitchen washing a dish, right? When a flash comes through the kitchen window where she is. And so, of course, she grabbed her strap. And I was like, where in the hell is Merritt? Where is Fast Eddie? Is he at work? But where is Merritt? So, she runs outside with the strap, right? She look around, she don't see nobody. But when she turned the other way, y'all, and she finger it go back in her house, guess who come running up the sidewalk? Nurse Red. So Nurse Red done came in. She done bought a an olive branch, if you will. She says that she needs to speak to her about Marshall. Now, of course, she's still pressuring her to sign over her rights because time is drawing near for us to make a decision. Again, trachs, anybody? Hello? Long-term care facilities? Hello? So, but I don't know okay. The time frames is all over the place because, honey, the way the Nurse Red is dressed, you would have thought that she was in the rolling 60s or something like that. Okay? So, Lois offers for her to come inside because she bought this, I guess it's a vodka, all the way from Holland when she went on vacation. She was like, this is the best of the best, baby. You want it or not? You know, Lois ain't finna turn down no drink. So her and Lois are sharing drinks. And she says, hey, so I got a confession. The reason that I've been going so hard on you is because I knew Marshall before he ended up in the hospital. So then we go back to the past. And y'all, Nurse Red said that she was just living life. Okay, she wasn't happy. She was down in the dumps all the time. She felt like she didn't have a reason to live. Okay, there was no light at the end of the tunnel for her. She was just kind of going day to day. No excitement, no nothing in her life. So then she decided to take a class on existential terror management or something like that. One of the classes that Marshall was teaching. Okay, and she was intrigued by this man. Again, y'all, Marshall has the personality of a charmer. He has the gift of gab. So she says that she took this class and she loved it so much, y'all, that she ended up taking a second semester. She continues that the second time she took the class, on the last day, she was so upset because the class was ending and he brought so much light to her life. And so she said that oftentimes they would share drinks after class at the bar. I was like, He was doing the same thing with Lois. I wonder where in the timeline this falls. This has to be before he met Lois, right? Anywho, so they would share. No, this was after he met Lois. So she said that they would go to the bar and he would cry. He would cry to her because of his familial crisis that was happening. Okay, his wife was an alcoholic who didn't love him. He was probably cheating on her at that time. And then his daughter was eating herself to death to an early grave. And so he just felt like it was his fault that the family was suffering like it was. And so he was trying to do everything that he could to save it. And then next thing you know, she found out that he was in an accident. And so she's upset with Lois because she feels like Lois has taken him for granted. You sitting up here and you come in the hospital, you barely talk to him, you barely act like you want to be there. This man was magnificent. This man was a light to me. This man was my everything when I felt like I had nothing. And you treat him just like he's a stranger on the street. And so then, of course, Lois stands up after that had a couple of drinks and she's like, whoo, girl, that must have been hard for you to get off your chest. I'm sure you feel a lot better now. Here, let me just take my hand. And so Nurse Red takes her hand and she was like, girl, she laughed. She started laughing because she thought that this was going to go way worse. She thought that Lois was going to be, taking this pretty hard and be upset with her confessing her love for her man. And so she's like, girl, I thought, this is so funny. I thought that, you was going to put paws on me or at worst, put a gun to my head or something like that. I shouldn't say it like that. But, put a strap to my head and shoot me or something. And so, Nurse Red is laughing, chuckling. And so Lois done turned around And she was like, girl, I wouldn't speak too soon. She came back with that strap and she said, girl, if I ever see you around my husband's room again, I'm going to make them words come to life. You hear me? And so Nurse Red heard up and got the hell up out of there. She said, I'm going to count to 4. How dare you, Nurse Red? Now, granted, Lois and her husband should have been done got a divorce a long time ago, but don't you dare come in here trying to speak on my situation, on my marriage. And then tell me that you love my husband? Girl, get it out of here. I thought that was so funny. So, while they're talking, I forgot to mention that while they were talking, y'all, Fast Eddie was calling. Okay? And so she was like, are you going to get that? Of course she's not going to get that. So, she then goes to see Macy. Remember, she on that 5150 hole. So, she go to see Macy down at the psych unit. And Macy says that Grotesquerie actually admires Lois. He wants Lois to be a martyr. Because trust, if he wanted Lois dead, baby, you would have been dead a long time ago. So she starts to talk about how he had convinced her, meaning Macy, that the work that they were doing was good because those mothers weren't deserving of those kids to begin with. They had very awful past. They were out there living that life, you know, not suitable to being good mothers in his eyes. Okay? So they would have been awful parents. But Glorious came and saved her and showed her the light and all the wrong that Grotesquerie was doing. So she came over to Glorious's side. And since then, she's been saving the kids with her. So where are the kids? Lois asked. I just need to know where they are so we can save them. Next thing you know, y'all, we see the cavalry pulling up to this warehouse. Now it's like a milk factory or something like that. They go inside this warehouse, y'all. They clear most of the factory. But when they get to the back, they find these women in harnesses like they are cows. They are being milked. The milk is then being funneled down tubes to babies and bassinets who are consuming said milk. What the hell is happening? What is happening, y'all? Who are these women that are in the factory? And why couldn't you just take those expecting mothers that were pregnant? Well, are these the babies from the expecting mothers? Who are these women? So they hurry up and get the women down. They recover the babies. Lois keeps walking. And she walks into another section of the factory where she finds this secret room, almost like where you would hang dead animals before you slaughter them, you know, in one of those cold meat frozen lockers. And so she goes there. You know what it kind of looks like? The first Saw, when they're in that bathroom or whatever the hell it was. That's what it looks like, y'all. But it looked like a frozen meat locker. So she walks in and she sees all of these photos of her at different time periods of her life. When she was a kid, when she was with her family, when she was older, when she was in school. Just all different time periods of her life, y'all. And I was like, she has got, this has got to be her, like in her own head, right? Because how would he have so many pictures of her? What do we know about her family? What's going on with her family? She got any long lost siblings? Parents? What's the backstory? We need Lois's backstory as to how she turned the way that she is. Now, we know that her dad wanted her to go to law school or something like that. Was he a police officer? I can't remember, y'all. But we need a little bit more backstory on Lois. So as she's looking at these photos, y'all, we see this person in black. I'm going to presume that it's a man. This man, dressed in all black, comes up behind her. He's got a knife, right? Puts the knife to her throat. Y'all, the scene was shot beautifully because the way that she turned around so fast and the scene slowed down, she pulled her strap out while she was turning around, y'all. You would have thought it was something out the Matrix. She shot the shot and she hit him. Loved it. So as he had the knife to her neck, right? All of these things were going through her brain about Marshall laying in bed with Nurse Red. He's still on the ventilator though, but she's cuddled up with him. Merritt and Eddie are laughing. Life is kind of going on without her, right? And Sister Megan done woke up. So she struck him. He hits the ground. And I'm sure, y'all, it's not this easy. It cannot be this easy. This can't be the guy that's taunting her. This has to be a big dream, right? If it's not a dream, I just hope that it wasn't somebody from the squad that was trying to come and talk to her. But that's the way the episode ends, y'all. It was really good. Who do y'all think Grotesquerie is? Do you think this is all a figment of her imagination? Do you think this is like a side of her that she taps into subconsciously? I don't know. I don't know at this point. Ryan, what y'all got going on over there? Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it, okay? You can reach me at Me and You TV Reviews on Facebook and on Instagram. You can also reach me at My TV Reviews Podcast without the S on the end at gmail.com. I keep saying I'm going to put the videos up on YouTube, y'all, but when they get there, they just going to get there. I'm sorry. And if you only looking through YouTube, y'all, please just come over to the podcast. It's streaming everywhere, okay? I'm sorry, y'all. There is one episode this week, so we should get down to business real fast. Hopefully before the end of this weekend, all right? But I ain't gonna make no promises. Matlock and Elsbeth are coming back, but we're getting rid of Reasonable Doubt. I've got 2 more episodes. I already did the one from last week. I just need to actually recap it. So, that's it, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it, okay? I love y'all. Y'all continue to have a good week. And if you ain't having a good week, I hope that it gets so much better for you. All right. That's all I have. So until we meet over the airwaves again, I am Mo, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.